Good morning, everybody. Shefa Barucho V'Atzlucho. Parashat Korach. We have the machloket of Korach and Adato. Famous machloket, the discussion which turned on to unbelievable disaster when 250 great people, Rashei Sanhedrot, Tzaddikim, are being burned by the fire that comes from God. And from the other side, Datan v'Aviram and all those that went with them are being swallowed by the earth. And why? Because they wanted to be holy. They wanted a job that is requiring worship to God and work for God. It looks like, what's going on here? And why? To kill them. Punish them in a way. Explain them, you are on the wrong way. But one of the worst things in the world is to put something with a cover that is holy, but inside it's the most impure thing that can be. To put your lust in a cover of holiness, in a shell of I am holy. Like Korach is saying, Kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. Everybody is holy. Why do you put yourself on top of us? We all been there. We all received the Torah. We all heard God. Everybody is holy. And it's all, what's going on here? And we see what's going on, like the people, they don't understand. They don't realize what's going on here. And they says, you killed them. They said, Moshe and Aaron, you killed them. Why did you give them a test that you know that if somebody is getting this ketoret in the wrong place, in the wrong time, like the sons of Aaron, they're going to be killed? You could have done a different test. And then after all what's happening, they're doing another test with the sticks. And they see that Aaron is the one who was chosen. And they see that the Ketoret is not the thing that kills. When there is a Magefa, a plague in the people, Aaron runs with the Ketoret, the same Ketoret that killed the 250 people, the same Ketoret that killed his two sons. He is not afraid. God sent me, I'm going there. And he went in between in the plague, in the middle, and it stops. To show everybody that it's not the Torah that kills. The sin is what kills. And after all this, the people come and says, Aim tamnu lamut. What's going on here? Why? Anybody who wants to get closer to the holiness, to God, is going to be killed. Because you have to understand from the point of view of the people. They see those holy people, the Kedoshim, Rashei Sanhedrot, being burned. And they say, what's going on here? It's very hard to understand. We look at it from the point of view of Moshe and Aaron, and from the point of view that we used to look at it. But if we try to understand what the people thought. Imagine to yourself that you see all the rabbis today are being burned because they spoke something against the chief rabbi. Impossible. How can a thing like this happen? But that's exactly the point. הקנאה, התאווה והכבוד מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. Jealousy, honor, and lust take the person out of this world. And meaning literally takes him out of this world. Not only from the spiritual world, but also from the physical world. When you've got the jealousy burning in you, you don't see anything. Everybody knows that only one can be Kohen Gadol, a high priest. Only one. So 250 people are standing there? Are you crazy or something? You know that only one is going to be killed. Sorry, only one is going to get the job. And if you think about it a little, it's got already the job. You saw all the signs from God. When Aaron was nominated, how the fire came and took the sacrifice. So you saw it in your own eyes, what's happening with you. And Korach, you're a clever guy. He was one of the guys who took the Aron HaKodesh. He had the spirit, had the Ruach HaKodesh. Doing a thing like this. A big lesson. And what's the meaning of Kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim? Everybody is holy. We are all the same. Everybody's got his own job. We talked about it so many times. We are not equal from the point of view of having the same job. Doesn't work. Look at the idea of the communism. The communists, they said everybody is equal. Everybody, chaverim, everybody is friend. But very shortly, everybody realized that there are chaverim, that there are, members that are more important and less important, and there is no, they are not equal. You had the rich and you had the poor, you had the one with the the power, and you had one without power, and they were even worse from the regime of the Tsar before. We saw also here in Israel the kibbutzim. Today you can look and try and find the idea of the kibbutz as it was when they built it. I don't think there is one kibbutz like this, that everybody is equal, everybody gets the same, everybody does the same. It doesn't work. Because even in the kibbutz, you have people that know more, you have people that know less, and all the idea of raising all the kids in the Bet Yeladim, it all changed. And in most of the kibbutzim today, everybody works and gets and brings a salary to the kibbutz. Whatever he can, he does. But the whole idea of everybody is the same, long ago, because it doesn't exist. God created human being with qualities, with talent, with abilities, and everybody's got a different talent and different abilities. It doesn't mean that they are not equal. We are all equal from the point of view that God gave us a job and we have to do the job. And if we do the job, we are equal exactly as our friend who does a different job. Because this is his job and this is our job. And when each one is doing his own job, this is Kol Ha'edah Kedoshim. Then we all holy. The fight is the same fight that we had last week with the Meraglim. They also were afraid on their job, and they also saw things in a distorted way. They didn't see the real picture. They saw what they wanted to see. And they came back and said what they said. And instead of Korach learning the lesson, and all the people that went with him, and Datan v'Aviram, they go on and do the same mistake. And we have to understand that it doesn't matter how great you are, and how clever you are, and how rich you are. Everybody has got the Yetzer Hara, and everybody can be touched by this illness of jealousy. We have now learned the lesson, I think, all over the world. The corona, the virus, the COVID virus, the coronavirus. It doesn't make any distinction, any different between a rich and a poor, a Jew and an Arab, a Japanese and a Chinese, big, small. He's there, and he gets to everybody, unfortunately. And it's exactly what we have to learn. The jealousy, the lust, and honor. Everybody's got a problem with it. It's like you can put it in a picture that somebody, a good guy, he wanted the job. He so wanted it that he did whatever he could in order to get the job. And on the way, he forgot all his righteousness and all his holiness, and he did things that normally he wouldn't do in order to get this job. He got the job, and he made a lot of wrong things on the way. And when he got the job, he felt so good that he got it, that he behaved nasty. He was behaving badly, not only to those who were underneath him. Also when he came home, he thought, I am the big boss. Didn't take long. His friend left him. They didn't want to live with this arrogant guy who thought that he is on top of the world, and he behaved to everybody like they are low life. And slowly but surely, his family broke. His wife left him, his kids, and he lost his job because somebody did to him exactly what he did to the other one that he got his job. And he found himself alone, no money, no job. That's the end of those who go in the way of lust, jealousy, and seeking for honor. התאווה, הגאווה והכבוד מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. There's something we have to put in our mind deep. From the other side, if you do the good in the eyes of God, if you understand that you've got your job, and one of the purposes of your job is to help others, to be a part of the club, use your talent for the others, not seek for the job of your friend. On the contrary, take your talent and help the others to achieve their job, their task in life. There was this guy that he had a big, years ago, they did a survey in the States and they wanted to find out how to become a millionaire. Is there any recipe to become a millionaire? So they sent students all over the state. They chose, I think, 10 or 20 millionaires, and they told them, you're going to be with them for a month, 2 months, and learn the method. Maybe we'll find something that is mutual to everybody. Everybody's doing this, and this is going to be the recipe to be rich. They did it. And they found out that everybody has a different system how to get on top of things, but there was something that was equal to everybody, something common to all the people involved. Fight with the competition. A lot of time they spend on the competition, on fighting with the enemy, which is your other firm that is dealing with the same thing that you are dealing with. One guy didn't have any enemies, and when he told them, says, I don't care about my competition. They do whatever they want to. I don't try and do wrong with them. I don't go against them. I don't fight with them. I don't advertise against them. I do my job. And these guys was also very successful. When they came back, they couldn't understand it. So they asked him if we can interview him again. They want to understand what's going on here. And the first question was, how is it that you, from all the others, that the main job in their daily life was fighting with a competition, and you don't care about the competition at all? How is it? So I'm going to tell you a story. A few years ago, all the managers of my company, we went on a tour around the world to find new places to open our business, branches of our business. And in this tour, we got to Eretz Israel. And in Eretz Israel, we toured and we looked around. At the end, last day, the guide says, I want to show you now something unbelievable. And everybody thought he's going to show us some archaeological thing. But he's taking us to this ultra-Orthodox Jewish neighborhood in Jerusalem. And he's stopping near a building. And he's asking us a very interesting question. And he says, how much space and stuff you need for 6,000 students? And all those managers started to do calculation. They came to a conclusion to have dining rooms and offices and study rooms and all the things. They need 150,000 square meters, at least. And 400 staff members, at least. So we told them, welcome to Yeshivat Mir. Here you have 6,000 students on 30,000 square meter. That's it. Not 150,000, 3,000. And the staff is 20 people. And there is one manager who deals with everything. He decides what they're going to learn. He decides what they're going to eat, and he is responsible to, let's say, welcome the students and decide who is going to learn there and who is not. He's in charge on everything. They were going around the yeshiva and they were amazed. Nobody even raised his eyes to look at them. And normally, when you go to visit a place, everybody's looking, who is this, who doesn't stop what they do. They were all learning. They're so, all this sitting and learning in every corner. While they're going on, he says, I want to ask you another question. How do you think the manager of this institute looks like? And how many secretaries has he got? And how his office looks? And they all were throwing numbers into the air while they were approaching this room. No secretaries. And this old guy is sitting there learning Gemara. And he looked ill. And this was Rabbi Nachman Tzvi Finkel, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. He was sitting and he had a lot of illnesses. He was a very ill guy. He says, the guide, don't be afraid the way he looks. He suffers from a lot of diseases, illnesses, whatever. He speaks very heavily, but luckily enough, he speaks fluent English. And you can ask him whatever you want. And don't worry about anything. They went into the room and sat at the side of the table. And Reb Natan Tzvi Finkel raised his eyes, smiling and shining. His face was shining. Says, yes, what can I help you? And this guy couldn't stop it. And he says, we here are managers of a very big company. Branches all over the world. And we don't understand. What is your secret? How is it possible to put so many students in such a small building and to run all this operation by yourself with 20 people? Impossible. How do you do this? And he smiled to them. He says, my dear friends, in life you have animals and people. An animal, a beast, if it wants something, it's going to get it whatever it takes. Going to step on others, it's going to get it. But a human being, he's got the option to give up. He's got the option not only to give up and choose not to stand on people, not to hurt others. He's got also the ability to help others, to use his things and give from himself to others. That's a human being. In my yeshiva, we have human beings, mensch, not animals. We care of each other. We look to help each other. And this is how you can do it. Those words went into this guy like a knife. And from this day on, he forgot what his father taught him. Put the target and get it with any way you can. He says to himself, that's being an animal, being a beast. I'm going to stop this. I'm not going to deal with the competition anymore. I am going to be nice to everybody. I'm going to help people. And I'm going to run my business without fighting with the competition. He says, I became a human being. And this business was very successful. In the beginning, when I read this story, I didn't know if it was a goy or a Jew. Then later on I found out who is this guy. And you wouldn't believe it if you don't know the story, or maybe I spoke about it in the past. This is Howard Schultz, the one who started Starbucks coffee. And we all know Starbucks. Starbucks all over the world. This operation is being run by this Howard Schultz. And we all know how successful he is. This is the guy in the story. And this is a guy that we should learn from him. In China even, in every corner you have Starbucks. Everywhere, all over the world. So you can be very successful without working out of jealousy, lust, and seeking for honor. Not trying to hurt others in order to achieve your goals in life. On the contrary, help others to achieve their goals and you will achieve yours This is the big difference when we talk about Korach and Adato. When are we holy, when we all do the good in the eyes of God, when we all use our talent to help others, not seeking for the job of the others, getting away from jealousy, from lust, trying to help others. And understand that if you go in this way of jealousy, you lose it. Kol minei gehenom sholtim bo. You lose it. The same way as 250 top people lost it, standing there, knowing that only one can be chosen. And with this, they're still standing there. Because when it's jealousy and seeking for honor and lust, you don't know what you're doing. So Bezrat Hashem, we will remember this unbelievable story with Starbucks and how successful this business is. And no jealousy, no trying to hurt others to achieve your own goal. On the contrary, help others to achieve their goal. Use your talent for the others. And then we will come to the Shalom Ha'amiti. All the best to everybody.